So we're going to start with a very gentle practice, and we are going to get acquainted with our breath and body movement. To start to get our bodies to get acquainted with that feeling of nice, deep, balanced breaths with movement, and start to dig into what that feels like and experience that. So we won't be doing anything too complicated today, just starting to really get that breath established with the movement. So we'll just get started here in a nice, comfortable, seated position. So just sitting on your sit bones in what we call an easy seated pose. Hands resting on your knees. And if you feel like it, if it's in your practice, you can draw your eyes closed today and just start to turn our attention inward. And so as we close the eyes, we just begin to become aware of our bodies. Bring our awareness inward. We start to notice any feelings or sensations within our body. So just really starting to bring ourselves more deeply into the present moment by taking notice of any feelings, any sensations we may have in our bodies. Sometimes that can show up as like just a little twinge in the body, a little sensation, or maybe even the feeling of a little bit of air or breeze around our bodies. And the goal here is just to notice without judgment. Starting to notice and to feel, to bring ourselves more present. And then from here, we'll just begin to start to notice our breath. And so again, without judgment, just noticing how that breath feels as it comes in and out of our bodies. We just start to become deeply aware of that breath. We follow the path of the breath. We can just start to notice the breath as it enters our nose, as it starts to swirl through the back of our throats, making its way down to fill chest, and then filling the ribs, and then filling the belly. And then as we exhale, our belly softens, the ribs fall, chest falls, and that breath leaves our nose. And so we come into this nice, deep, balanced, slow and controlled breath. And we breathe in the nose, we feel chest, ribs, then belly. And as we release that breath, the air leaves the belly, then the ribs, then the chest, and then the nose. And now we can start to try to bring that breath into a balance. So maybe it's 4 seconds on the inhale and 4 seconds on the exhale. Just starting to try to notice and match the inhales to the exhales. And this breath just becomes slow and controlled. We breathe with intention. We use this breath as our anchor throughout our practice. And we practice yoga, the most important part of our practice is the breath. So even if you come to your mat with the intention of practicing yoga and all you do is stay in one position the entire time and just breathe, you have achieved yoga. Yoga to me is a feeling. It's that feeling of getting deep into the present moment and sinking our breath, allowing our bodies to settle in. So we start our practice today just really sinking into our breath. So starting to take notice of how this nice balanced breath feels in your body, how it's making you feel. Sometimes it can bring with it a nice sense of relaxation and an ease of tension in the body, and other times it can bring forth agitation as things start to surface within us. Just know that whatever you're feeling is okay. We hold a space of self-love and compassion. And every time we come to our mat, it's a new journey. So just coming back to that breath. And now bringing one hand to your heart center, one to your chest, and the other hand to your belly. Now we'll just really start to feel how that breath moves through our body. So as we inhale, we notice a wave move through the body, a wave of breath. And as we exhale, that wave leaves the body. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. And then bringing our hands back to our knees. Now as we inhale, you're going to reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling. So getting a nice long, tall stretch through the spine. You should feel as though someone has a rope and they're pulling it up from the top of your head and just reaching and stretching the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And as we do this, we keep those nice, long, deep, balanced inhales and exhales. And now, if your eyes are still closed, you can feel free to gently open your eyes. Start to bring yourself back into the space here. And just keeping those balanced breaths throughout our practice. So we'll just continue with these balanced breaths, coming back to your breath whenever you need to. I'll give some subtle, gentle reminders throughout our practice to keep bringing you back to your breath. And now we'll take a moment here. Inhale, circle our arms up overhead. On the exhale, palms connect and we bring them down to our heart center. We take a moment here to draw to our mind an intention. And a great intention for this practice would be to keep coming back to your breath, to be more present, and to get the most out of your practice today. So just taking a moment to set that intention. Perhaps you want to draw the eyes closed again. Just take a moment and breathe into that intention. As always, just trusting and knowing that whatever intention comes forward is the right one for you. And once you've set that intention, we'll inhale to reach those hands up overhead again. And with our exhale, we turn the palms and slowly bring those hands down to the mat. So we move with breath. On our next inhale, the right arm is going to come up. Bring it all the way up at the top of the inhale, reach it towards the ceiling. Exhale, we turn that right palm, and with the exhale, we bring that right palm down to the mat. Next, inhale, that left palm slowly makes its way up with the breath. We reach tall at the top of the inhale, and as we exhale, we turn that left palm, and it slowly makes its way down to the mat. Next, inhale, both palms turn up, and with the inhale, we slowly rise our palms until they meet at the top of the inhale overhead. Exhale turns those palms, and we slowly turn them down towards the earth. Next, inhale, palms come back up overhead. And with the exhale, slowly bringing those palms down to the mat. Inhale, the right palm reaches towards the ceiling. We bring that right hand up and overhead. The exhale turns the palm and brings it back down. So we're starting to really feel what it feels like to move with breath. Inhale, brings the left hand up overhead. And exhale, brings that left palm down. Next, inhale, both palms come up overhead. Hands connect at the top of the inhale. And exhale, we're going to bring those palms together to meet at the heart. And now bringing those hands to your knees. We'll inhale to reach the crown of the head tall towards the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to begin to do a nice gentle hip rotation. So kind of like you're stirring a pot with your upper body. And so we're getting a nice rotation with breath. So as you inhale, you can kind of go through the front half of your circle. And as you exhale, you can finish that circle off. So we really want to continue this breath with body movement. So inhale half of your circle and exhale the other half. And sometimes I like to close my eyes for this practice as well, just to turn inward a little bit more. And to really start to feel the benefits of the breath with body movement. And then we'll stop here at the bottom of the next exhale, coming back to neutral. And then we're going to just move in the opposite direction. So just coming into this nice upper body kind of hip rotation here with breath, also called Sufi grinds in yoga. And these Sufi grinds are really good for helping to move energy through the body. So as we move with breath, we start to heat up that sort of internal chi energy, that life force energy, and it starts to rise up in our body. So maybe we can start to feel that if we really tune in. And then coming back to neutral here, just in a nice tall seat for a moment. We'll take a nice deep inhale here, nice and tall. On the exhale, we're going to make our way over into tabletop position here. So in tabletop position, you want your fingers widely spread apart, palms glued to the mat, wrists, elbows, and shoulders are stacked on top of each other. And now our knees are about hips distance apart. And the knees and the hips are stacked on top of each other. And so we're going to move into our cat-cow. So really coming back to breath here, we inhale to gaze up, open the chest, reach the hips towards the sky. On our exhale, we're going to press the mat away from us. Exhale, gaze comes between the knees and we push the upper back away from the floor. Next inhale, we shift back, open the heart, gaze up, point those hips towards the sky. Gaze is up. Exhale, gazing towards the knees. Press that upper back away. And so we move with breath here. And this is called cat-cow in yoga, and it's a great movement to really start to move energy through the body, start to feel the benefits of breath with body movement. We'll take a nice deep inhale, open the heart. And on your next exhale, just come back to neutral tabletop here. So the spine is nice and straight. The crown of the head reaches forward. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to turn the toes and shift our hips towards the ceiling to come into downward facing dog. And now in downward facing dog, those palms are glued to the mat, fingers widely spaced apart. The hips are reaching towards the ceiling, and we press the upper thighs back. The chest falls, and the head stays so that the ears are in line with the arms. And we come back to our breath. So nice, deep, balanced breaths here. We can come back to our intention here, just bringing it back to mind. And then we take a nice deep inhale to reach our hips a little taller towards the ceiling. On the exhale, we bend the knees, gaze forward, and step or hop to the top of our mat to a forward fold. On our next inhale, we rise halfway to make a flat back, gazing forward. If you want, you can put your hands on your shins. And on the exhale, we fold forward and let the upper body go, keeping a slight and gentle bend in the knees. On your next inhale, pressing into the soles of the feet, we circle the arms and rise nice and slow with intention, engaging that core, circling the arms overhead, and exhale those hands to prayer at heart center. We take a moment here to just settle into this posture, paying attention to where the soles of the feet meet the earth. So keeping those palms pressed in together, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. And we come back again to our breath. So if we've lost our breath, we just keep coming back to it. It's okay. Coming back to that nice, deep, balanced belly breath. We feel the rise and the fall of our chest and our bellies. And on your next inhale, you're going to circle the arms up overhead, hands will connect. And as we exhale, we will fold forward again. The inhale will rise halfway, gazing forward. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, we'll circle the arms and rise nice and slow with intention. Exhale brings those hands back to the heart. Just taking a moment here again as we settle in, moving through some half sun salutations first, just to get our breath in sync with movement. So next inhale, circle the arms, connect those hands overhead. Exhale, fold and dive forward. Inhale, we rise halfway, gazing forward. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, circle as we rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. And we'll just continue right through this. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, dive and fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway, gazing forward. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, circling as we rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, circling those hands overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rising halfway. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, circling as we rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. And so now we're just going to run through 3 more without my giving any cues, without any instruction, but I will be doing the flow. So if you just want to have a look back, if you feel like you maybe missed a step or need some guidance, but I just want you to really breathe into this flow, into this half sun salutation, so you can feel that breath and body movement in sync and start to feel what it really feels like within your body. So on the inhale, we'll start. And coming back to prayer here at Heart Center, just take a moment here. Let's release those hands down by our side here. Come into mountain pose. Maybe just gently pedal those feet out, roll the shoulders. Keeping the nice deep balanced breath here, nice slow and controlled breaths. And then we're going to inhale, circle the arms overhead. On the exhale, we'll circle, we'll turn those palms, and exhale, bring them down slowly by our side. So at the end of the exhale, they land in our thighs. Inhale, we circle back up. And exhale, bringing those back down. Now we're going to inhale just the right arm up. And exhale, that right hand palm comes back down. Inhale the left side. And exhale, left hand comes down. Inhale, both arms come up, palms reach and connect overhead. On the exhale, we're going to bring those palms straight out in front of us. On the inhale, the right hand is going to slowly open up. We're going to follow it with our eyes until it comes all the way behind us. Exhale, we'll bring that right hand slowly back with the breath. So a lot of nice fluid movements with breath today. Inhale, that left hand comes back. We follow that with our eyes. Exhale, slowly bringing that hand all the way back to the front. Inhale, those hands come up overhead. Exhale, we turn the palms and bring them back down by our sides. Inhale, all the way back up with the hands. And exhale, we dive and fold forward. Inhale, rising halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to plant our hands, step our feet back, come into a plank position for just a moment, and then lower slow. So on the exhale, we drop the knees and then the chest, keeping the elbows tucked into the body. Then we inhale to rise up to a cobra pose. And then exhale, we turn the toes, shift our hips towards the sky, and come back into our downward facing dog. So nice deep balanced breaths here. The heels come down towards the mat, but they don't need to connect with the mat. Not everyone can do that. It can be tricky. And then we press the palms into the mat. The hips reach towards the ceiling. The ears come in between the elbows, elbow creases. Nice deep balanced breaths. Inhale, we reach the hips tall. Exhale, we bend the knees, gaze forward, and step our way to the top of our mat to a forward fold. On an inhale, we rise halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, we circle the arms. Exhale, we bring those hands to prayer. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, rising halfway, gazing out. Exhale, fold forward, plant those hands, step the feet back, plank position and lower slow, keeping the elbows tucked in. On the inhale, we rise up to cobra, tuck those elbows in, open the heart. Exhale, turn those toes, shift the hips to find downward facing dog. Some nice deep breaths here. A nice deep inhale, reach the hips tall. On the exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, and step or hop to the top of your mat to a forward fold. Inhale, we rise halfway. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, circling as we rise. Exhale, we bring those hands to prayer. Inhale, circling, and then exhale, fold and dive forward. Inhale, rising halfway. Exhale, we fold, plant the hands, step the feet back. Plank position, lower slow on the exhale. Inhale, rise to cobra. Exhale, turn the toes, find downward facing dog. A nice deep inhale, reach the hips tall. On the exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, step or hop to the top of your mat to a forward fold. Inhale, we rise halfway, gazing forward. Exhale, fold and let it go. Inhale, circling as we rise. Exhale those hands to prayer. Very good. Beautiful. So just keeping those hands at prayer at heart center here for a moment. We'll circle the arms and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step those feet back to plank. This time we're going to drop the knees and we're going to bring our big toes together to connect. So keeping nice wide knees. Take a nice deep inhale here, open the heart. And on the exhale, we'll slowly lower down. So lowering the upper body down, coming into child's pose. So you can let the forehead hit the mat, or if you want, you can use your hands as a pillow. Just finding what works for you. But the goal here in child's pose is just to really surrender and allow your heart to land on the mat. And just letting everything go here. Let those shoulders relax. Let the upper body melt. And if you need to, place a blanket beneath your sit bones. You can do that. So some people like to put a blanket in between, or even a bolster. Just kind of place it in there. And as we stay here in this child's pose, just allowing yourself to once again come back to your breath. Maybe we come back to our intention. And we meet ourselves here with this deep sense of compassion and self-love. I just want you to stay here for a few more breaths in child's pose. And notice what that breath feels like in the body. Notice where your inhales and your exhales go. And when you're ready, on an inhale, just start to walk your hands in towards your body and to rise up here. So we rise up so that we're seated on our lower legs. And then we just kind of roll over to one side and swing those hips straight out so we end up seated. So our legs are straight out in front of us. We can flex in those feet. We're going to inhale to circle our arms. And on the exhale, we're going to fold it all forward. So just like we did in our standing forward fold, but here we're doing a seated forward fold. And here you want to just let the heart fall forward. Let the arms come and fall where they may, nice and relaxed. Always making sure we're not clenching our jaws and not bringing our shoulders up to tense. We just want to relax everything. We keep the toes flexed and working. And we try to keep the spine as neutral as we can, so the crown of the head is in line, like the cervical spine, the crown of the head, everything kind of creates a nice straight line here. So we don't dip the head forward. We want to keep it nice and neutral. Next inhale, we'll just walk our hands in towards our body. And then I'm just gonna turn myself forward here so I can show. So keeping those legs straight out in front of us, we're gonna circle the arms and bring our hands overhead. We're gonna interlace all of our fingers except our pointer finger. Take a nice deep inhale, reach tall. On the exhale, leaning over to your left side. And try to keep the right sit bone down on the ground. You may feel like it wants to lift off, but just try to keep it down, connected to the earth. Feel a nice stretch in the side body. Next inhale, we come back to center, reach tall, and then exhale, lean over to the other side. So you should feel a nice stretch through the side of the arms, through the side body, elongating, pointing fingers. Next inhale here, we bring it back up, release the fingers, and then exhale, turn the palms, and on that exhale, slowly release those palms down to the mat. And now we're going to bend in at the knees. So we keep the soles of the feet down at the mat. We'll inhale to reach forward, and on our exhale, we're going to slowly guide ourselves back so we end up lying down on our mat. So just make sure you've got enough space behind you to land back. And when you make it onto your back here, I want you to hug your knees into your chest. And just roll from side to side, maybe getting a nice circular motion here, or side to side, just whatever feels right, but keeping those nice, deep, balanced breaths. And on our inhale, we're going to release those feet, reach the toes towards the sky, and just start to release the arms down so palms face up, and just start to find some nice rotation in the ankles. It always feels nice to get our feet up so we let the blood flow back to our hearts. We spend so much time on our feet. It's so nice to get them up. Get some lymphatic flow back towards our heart. Inhale, we're going to reach the toes tall towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bend those knees back into the heart. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the earth, to the mat, just beneath our sit bones. So pressing the soles of the feet into the mat. We'll press the arms into the mat, roll the shoulders away from the ears. On our next big inhale, we'll reach our hips towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhales and exhales here. And see where you can send your breath. Make sure your neck is straight and neutral. Your gaze is up towards the ceiling. And we're finding strength here in the glutes and the low back. Pressing those hands into the mat. One more nice deep inhale. We'll reach the hips a little taller. And as we exhale, slow and controlled, we bring the body back down to the mat. Next inhale, we draw those knees back into the heart. We'll take a nice deep inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll let our knees fall to the ground on our left side. So knees bent. Our arms come to a wide T or a cactus, whichever feels right to you. And our gaze will be over to our right hand. So we come into what we call a reclined twist, a nice spinal twist. And so we feel a nice twist throughout the spine. And we keep those nice balanced breaths, but maybe we start to invite a softness to our breath. Next inhale, we draw the knees back to center, keeping the arms as they are. We'll take another nice deep inhale here, and then we'll exhale to drop those knees over to the right side. So just moving gently, but with purpose, coming into that spinal twist. Those arms are either straight out by your sides here in a wide T, or they come up to a cactus, so the hands come closer to the ears, whatever feels right to you. The gaze is now over to the left hand. And just letting those knees fall where they feel comfortable, where they feel best, make any adjustments needed. So if you feel like you want to move or shift or adjust into just the right spot, the key is just to find your sweet spot. And then just resting there. Feeling and noticing that twist through your body. Noticing the breath move like a wave through your body. A nice deep inhale here, and a nice deep exhale to relax a little deeper. Next inhale, we slowly draw the knees back into the center. We'll hug in those knees to start to find some movement here, a little bit of movement from side to side. And then we'll hug ourselves in, just give ourselves a nice little hug, a nice little symbol of love, hugging ourselves, showing ourselves some love. We'll take a nice deep inhale here, and then as we exhale, release everything down into Shavasana. So we let those feet come to the outer edges of our mat, palms face the sky, if that's comfortable for you. And just start to let your body sink into this posture. Just let everything go. Just stay here, finding that sweet spot of relaxation for you. So staying in that position that's comfortable for you, that Shavasana position. And as we come into this final relaxation posture in yoga, we can start to let go of our breath and allow our breath to return to its natural state of being. So we're not forcing it, it's just simply there. And we start to contrast our practice. So now we let go of the breath, we let go of the mind, and we let go of the body. So we start to just bring ourselves into this space of deep relaxation throughout the mind and throughout our body. We allow a softness to come in. We let that softness move through our body. We release any tension that may be left in the body. We give ourselves permission to create this space of deep relaxation, of letting go, deeply relaxing. We give ourselves permission to press pause, to just be. We let our bodies soak up all the good that we've just given it for this time, through this practice. And so we allow this wave of relaxation to slowly move through our entire body, starting from the top of our heads, moving all the way through our body until it makes its way all the way down to the tips of our toes. And with this wave of relaxation comes this calm, this state of peace, this state of bliss. We really start to release everything and let it all go. So we start to feel really heavy and as though we're sinking into the space. We take rest in this beautiful space we've created. So I'll leave you here just to take all the time you need. Just check in with yourself, see how long you feel comfortable staying here. Just give yourself all the time you need, all the stillness. From my light to yours. Namaste.